Hello, I'm Diego Spears of Grade 9I of Group 12, and today we're here to answer the question, how does the government use our taxes? First of all, we need to figure out what taxes are. Taxes are compulsory contributions imposed by the state on certain individuals, properties, and or firms to finance certain government activities. The government uses taxes in order to provide safety and better efficiency towards the country. Taxes have different way Each country has different ways of paying their taxes. Some countries may be progressive, regressive, or even proportional. In certain situations, we see how taxes are able to affect different kinds of people. Each person in the community is required to pay taxes, as this enables the government to be able to use the taxes for the well being of the country as a whole. Next, we also have to understand how taxes are able to help the country grow as a unit. Through taxes, it helps, through an increase in taxes, it helps people have less money to spend, which leads to less money and less demand, which eventually leads to lower inflation, which is better for the country. While, if through a decreased amount of spending, there will be less money in the economy, less money and less demand, and lower inflation. So, through this, we could see how taxes are able to affect the government in different kinds of ways. Overall, the taxes are required by the government for two main reasons: to revenue and for allocation. Through taxes, it helps generate money to fund social services such as health, education, infrastructure, and much more. Similar to allocation, these taxes enable the government to be able to encourage or discourage consumption slash production. And most of all, the main purpose of allocation is to be able to redistribute wealth in the form of making public goods and services accessible even to the poorest. So overall, this is the main use of the taxes, and the government is able to use them in different kinds of ways.
There are four types of taxes: income, property, sales, and corporal. Income tax is when the government takes part of the person's earnings. An example is when an office worker works really hard and the boss is planning on paychecks already. The office worker gets pay, but the government applies tax to that person's pay, which means that he takes part of the pay only. Property tax is calculated by nearby governments, in which the person in question is paying. For example, this man wants to buy a lot. This tax person calculates how much the lot is. The person pays the tax person and it's sold to him. Tax person gives part of the money to whoever owns the land, and part of the money goes to the government. Sales tax is imposed by the government on the good and the service. Sales tax is close to VAT, value added tax. It's a consumption tax placed on the product of whenever it's added value on the supply chain. Today, VAT is at 10%. This man wanted to buy a shirt. He goes to the cashier and pays. He has $100. He has to add 10. The t-shirt costs $100. Since the VAT today is at 10%, he has to add $10. Corporal tax, also known as corporate tax, is when the government takes the company's profit and takes part of the There's a new business selling cars. This man made his first sale. This sale was for $100. The $100 is given to the bank, and the bank splits it and gives part of the earnings to the man in question and to the government.
The question we will be answering today is, how do the government spend our money, or the taxes we pay. First, basic needs. Paying taxes ensures our basic needs and services. This includes water, power, roads, airports, and railways. But without tax, the government cannot provide these needs and we too will suffer. Second, service. They are used for salaries of military personnel and policemen who keep peace and order in the country. Training equipment and security forces are upgraded and putting them in a better position to defend us. Number 3. Businesses would cost low. The government won't be suffering a revenue shortfall if taxes are collected. Our economic fundamentals would get weaker because of low tax collections. Investor confidence softens, therefore affecting the business collections. And the investor confidence softens, which therefore the business environment gets affected and raising the country at great risks. Thank you.